Hello, welcome back to GameSpot's continuing coverage of E3 2013, continuing not for much longer. We've only got one game left, but before that, Anna Pross Robinson, thank you very much for joining me again.
No problem, I'm glad to.
It's day 3, it's nearly over, the dream is nearly dead.
Yeah, no, it's not dead, it's just begun.
Okay, that's true in many ways, because we're seeing games here that we're going to be playing and that we're going to be waiting for years and years to come out.
I know, we're all complaining behind the scenes here because any of us who are covering the games, even me who's been, walking around and talking to people playing the games, I haven't gotten a chance to play them yet. So it just leaves me hungry. Like, all I want to do is play these games that now I have to wait.
It's a nightmare. I've watched GameSpot's live streams for years, since like 2004. I used to sit at home and watch all the games, and I felt like I got the true E3 experience. The true E3 experience for us working here is sitting in one place, talking to people. And last year I didn't get to touch the controller. So this year I got to play Loco Cycle in the Xbox booth and a bit of PlayStation 4 this morning with Tiny Brains. So I feel at least I got to touch the new controllers, if nothing else. So what have you managed to play on your wandering around the show floor here?
Literally the only thing I've played is an Xbox controller demo. That's
it. The demo?
Yeah, the demo was, to be fair, really, really cool.
Is this the one with the rumble stuff? Sorry.
It has the new 2 rumble motors in the triggers, and as well as the typical ones in the arms, I guess you'd call them. But I was kind of like, oh, okay, new rumble, whatever. I've held a rumble pack before.
Yeah.
But it's so precise. Like they had different things, like they would show you a gun, which is typical, and then a car starting, which was I was like, wow, that really feels like a car starting. So what
does it do? It's like when you're accelerating?
It has the rhythm of a car, and if you just hold your fingers lightly on it, it just kind of goes, just like a car would. But the coolest one was it had a heartbeat. So it would go like between your fingers, looked up.
Oh, that's freaky. I don't like that.
It was so cool. So if your health is low, let's say, and you're like about to run out of health, that's what happens. So you get that experience of your heart pounding in your ears.
Yeah.
So that, to be fair, it was really cool. But I've been talking about next-gen consoles all week, and I have yet to get, I haven't even been close to one, so.
Yeah, there's been so many videos on the site and on our YouTube channel of you talking to people, developers, publishers, just folks on the show floor who've managed to get tickets. I still don't know how that happens. There's just loads of just dudes here, just coming, just like men and women who are fans of video games that are turned up. What's been the narrative? What's been like the main theme that people have been most maybe excited about at E3 2013?
Well, what obviously comes to mind is the console war. So in terms of the news, or like the hot topics, the fact that there are 3 major consoles, including the Wii U, and then of course 2 major next-gen consoles that are really like duking it out as far as their fans are concerned.
Yeah.
That's been the main thing on everyone's mind, and kind of comparing, okay, if I've decided I'm going to get a PS4, what games am I going to get for it? What does that mean? And everything kind of relates to that, even to the extent that now PC gaming and next-gen consoles are overlapping in a lot of ways. The technology is really cool there. So talking a lot about that and learning a lot about that has been definitely the hot topic. In terms of the story or the narrative, like that's where I get a little mushy because I come from an esports background, and so most of my everyday is spent just on competitive gaming and focused on that world where there's a very few games that are established as competitive games. So coming somewhere like this where, I am a gamer at heart. I love to play games, whether they're competitive or recreational, and seeing just this much gaming around me and this many people passionate about it and the advances that are being made, there have been a few times, like, I'm not going to lie, you can make fun of me, but I got choked up, It's so exciting, and people are so thrilled to be here, and so that it always is nice to kind of recharge that way as a gamer and somebody who works in gaming.
Yeah, that's a very salient point. I think I was talking to Johnny in the hotel a couple of days ago about what it's been like over the past couple of days, and I think the way I felt about games, or at least more specifically console games, is a lot more optimistic now than it was, say, 5-6 days ago. I think the conferences, specifically Sony's, and in terms of software, at least on Microsoft's side, delivered a lot of sort of really interesting things to look forward to. And then from being here, it's kind of hard not to get swept up in the energy that's here. Like, it's also like everyone's tired, it kind of smells, the toilets aren't great, there's never enough water to drink, and there's long queues for everything. But it's still, the E3 experience, even though it's, I guess, a developer and a publisher show, it still very much feels like a fan event, doesn't it? Like the games industry getting together and just giving itself a big high five.
I definitely compare this experience to something like Disneyland. Everything's kind of like larger than life. and it's colorful and flashy, and yeah, there are long lines, and everyone's kind of like, you've got the crying babies at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They aren't really babies here, they're adults, but they're still crying, but I would kind of compare it to that experience for sure, getting swept up in the magic, if you will.
So you've been producing video content all week long. It's been going up in it's a frontline section, we've called it, right? On GameSpot, and of course it's all over YouTube as well. Tell us, over the last couple of days, what have you been working on that people should check out?
Well, of course we started with the console war. I mean, I feel like a broken record, just console war. And I hate even calling it a war
I
because...
know, and it seems out of place, but this year it kind of feels like it.
It's like a hashtag. In order to talk about it, you have to, So I would say that the console it's not even a collaboration, whatever it is, the console issue. So I definitely started working on that. I did a lot of pieces on controllers and graphics and all the specs people wanted to know, as well as exclusive games, because a lot of people are really coming at it like, whatever the console does, I don't really care. I just want to play my favorite games.
Sure.
So we talked a lot about that, and then actually some of my favorite pieces were, excuse me.
If that's as sick as you are after 3 days, good work. Homer Ibarra cannot even speak.
I know, I'm trying to keep from coughing. That 2 coughs so far is good. So actually one of my favorite pieces was I went to the Video Game History Museum booth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and my gaming roots go back to playing the Intellivision console with my
Nice.
grandma. So I geeked out over that for a long time. That segment took a long time to film.
Your grandmother?
Yeah, my grandma.
Wow, that's awesome.
She's kind of my gaming inspiration. She and I used to play Night Stalker, Major League Baseball, and Lock and Chase on
Nice.
the Intellivision. So anyway, that was really, really cool. And I would recommend people check that out because it's kind of a cool mission. They really want to put together an actual building museum of video game memorabilia. So it was cool. And then the Indiecade was also really neat because we've talked a lot about the big names in gaming and the big consoles and things, but PlayStation 4 even announced 8 indie games that they're going to be supporting. And so the Indiecade has this really this bustling energy of indie games are starting to become not so much indie games as just games. If you develop a game, it could get picked up by something like PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and they got a big section in the South Hall, and I remember last year they were just on the pathway between the 2 halls, stuck into a corner, so it's great that they're finally getting a bit of exposure there. Anna, thank you so much for checking in. It's been a pleasure working with you for the past couple of days. All of your content, of course, available on GameSpot.com and on youtube.com/GameSpot. Looking forward to the after party.
Yeah,
Let's
me
have
too.
some fun tonight.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we got one game left. The E3 2013 dream is nearly over, as is the ability that I have to use my tongue. So give us a 5-minute break. I'll stretch this bad boy out a bit and we'll come back with Payday 2.